The race in Miami may have only been on the calendar for 2 seasons now, but that's on the track. The carnival atmosphere from when Formula 1 rolls into town is something special, and it should be felt by most fans if they have the chance to go to a race in the States. Now, the action on the track was not the best we have seen, to say the least, but there are some talking points that we will get into later, but off the track there is a lot of talk about. For years, Formula 1 has tried to break into the American market, but it has struggled. But due to the success of Drive to Survive, it has become more popular than ever in the US, which is why we now have 3 races there on the calendar for 2023 and beyond. In today's video, we will talk about some on-track action and what the overall drivers' thoughts were, that cringy intro before the race got under the way, the overall atmosphere, and how the race is great for US fans in a number of ways. Let's get straight into it, shall we? To start off with, we are going to talk about some of the on-track action, which for some fans wasn't really the highlight of the weekend. For starters, the track has been resurfaced, which changed more than you may think at first. It meant off the driving line, the track was very dirty and slippery for the drivers, and that is a big reason why Charles Leclerc had crashes on Friday and Saturday due to him going a bit wide, which caused issues for his car. On the Saturday night before the race on Sunday, it rained, which meant the track was green and the grip would be very little on the racing line, but off it, there was almost no grip for the drivers. This meant that overtakes were harder to make, which of course drivers would not be happy about because they would be stuck behind one another. It also meant that the strategy would be nailed on one stop, which kind of makes the race very predictable, and there is nobody trying a different strategy because they would lose so much time compared to everyone else. Another change that not many drivers were a fan of, especially the Red Bull drivers with their insane DRS, is that back straight had its DRS shortening. This is the main overtaking spot due to the slipstream given by the driver ahead, and the DRS helped the moves being done. But to shorten the DRS was a very strange decision, to say the least. The drivers all love going to America due to the feel around the weekend and the celebrities they get to meet that come into Miami for the weekends. Most drivers embrace it, and most make the most of the weekend, whilst others hate the media duties they have to do. Looking at you, Alex Albon, if you're watching. Overall, the feeling for most drivers is that they enjoy the weekend as a whole, but some of the changes on the track they were not a fan of. How do you feel about the Miami Grand Prix? Is it one of your favourite weekends of the season, or are you not a fan? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Our next topic is about the atmosphere of the race and about that cringy intro that we saw before the race got underway. America has become a special place for Formula 1 in recent years, and this year was no different down in Miami for the 2nd year now. The countless amount of celebrities that we saw this weekend just shows how Formula 1 has changed and how it is perceived. For many years, it was seen as a closed sport, but now everyone loves it, and celebrities are included in that, which makes the race weekends even more special. The atmosphere was special with having the main paddock inside of a stadium, which was extraordinary and something we had not seen before. Then racing on the streets around the stadium with the highway above it with thousands of fans in attendance, with an increase of 30,000 on last year, which made the atmosphere even better than what it was in 2022. Miami is a place that every driver wants to race, and a track where every fan wants to go due to how much fun it seems to be. Let us know what you think of Miami if you've been to the race either this year or last year. Now onto something which was special, to say the least, and that was the intro that each driver got before the race on the grid. We saw this before in the US back in 2018, where it was less cringy than this was in Miami. Each driver would come out one by one with someone presenting them and saying some very strange things, to say the least, such as Yuki Small, which he is, but it is a bit off topic and strange to say before the drivers get into their car. Many people are not a fan of this due to them believing that the sport is just now being over-Americanized now, but yet again, the race is in Miami and it could be just a one-time thing. The intro part was cool in a way, but some things that guy was saying were very odd for some drivers, but it was a bit of fun to laugh at before the drivers got into the car. Some drivers embraced it, but some look like they did not want to be there, which is fair as they just want to do their pre-race routine and get racing, as that is what the fans have paid for. Overall, it was funny to see, but also a bit cringy at the same time. But what do you think? Are you a fan, or do you think we should never see something like that ever again? Drop a comment below and let us know what you think. On to our third and final subject, which is how the race is great for US fans, but also the audience in the States. To start off with the fans in the United States, it is great as they get to see 3 different races in the season, with Miami being the first of the 3, and they are all in the 3 different locations, which is great. With the country being so big, they need to have a few races in a season, as 1 race a season would be packed, and this is why Miami is great for the fans. It is a unique track and area, so having a race is very fun for the fans, and we are sure they appreciate it a lot. This race is also good for the US as a whole, as having celebrities and influencers down at the track for the weekend, it means that other people will see and want to watch Formula 1. More attention on the sport from people all over America makes the sport more popular, which is what we really want. The more people talking about the sport means more fans, and every sport wants that, of course. Many fans are not in favour of having 3 races in the US most years, but they kind of deserve it. Miami is a fun track and weekend for the drivers and fans. The race in Texas at the Championships of the Americas always provides some sort of drama every time that we go there, and Las Vegas will be a spectacle to say the least. We do not know if the track will provide good racing, but to have the whole of Las Vegas stop and stare at Formula 1 really does say a lot about the demand for the sport now. Overall, it is fair to say that the race in Miami is great for the fans, as it has a great atmosphere, and the race, of course, is always great to see racing around a stadium on the streets of Miami. Formula 1 is only getting more and more popular, so it will be stupid not to keep going back to Miami and these other tracks in the United States for years to come, and we are sure that the fans will make every single weekend as special as possible. Some fans may not like that the United States gets 3 races every year, but the demand is there, so it would be silly for them not to go there as much as they can. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one.